2020, my mum, around this time, 2020, in June, my mum had lost her brother in COVID, and she didn't want to go to the funeral. So it was up to us children to help get her to the funeral because it was a younger brother, and we felt that she needed that closure. My mum, like everybody else, has that sort of spirit that's there, the marriages, the breakups, the boyfriends, and all that, the Christmas, what have you. And it was tough on us as a family. And I remember after supporting her to do all of that, she came back home, we dropped her off, and I was on my way home and my phone started going crazy. By that time, I think the George Floyd thing had happened, but because we're so focused on what we're doing, I just forgot about it. I thought, let me just get through this day, and the next day, and the next day, based on what we need to do. And the person said, check your phone. And I said to myself, what do I need to check my phone for? I'm driving. I'm an upstanding citizen, and I do not want to get involved with the police. And she said, just check. And I said, okay. When I get home, I picked up my phone on my driving thing, but when I get home, I'll check my phone. It turns out that something awful had happened at a place that I was working at the time, or working with at the time, and they hadn't dealt with it. I was aware of it at the back of my mind, but I didn't think it was a big thing for me to concern myself with, because I felt that an investigation had happened. But I think the George Floyd thing brought it forward, and people were angry, and people were calling me and saying, what should we do? Heads need to roll. And I said, come on, everybody, calm down. Just because this has happened doesn't mean that we should all just get up and go and down tools and start fighting with leadership and what have you. Let's have a strategy. So I organised myself and a few people and said, okay, we'll have a virtual huddle for just the Black employees, or just the Black people, so that we can begin to start the healing process before we do anything else. So it was let's have a virtual hug on a Monday and carry on for close to end of 2020. What happened in between that was various people looking to say the allies, and that's where the allies, not to the allies, accomplices, and adversaries. This, when me and another person were in the middle of it, and nobody needed what to do. The leaders were confused, everybody was white. The leaders were also looking to me to bring everybody together. The allies, the Black employees that I call the accomplices, and because I was working on the cultural diversity thing, it was about culture. So the other allies that I had were very much Asian, Eastern European. It was having to help with the culture rather than race. But all of a sudden, race had become that big thing that everybody's been wanting to do something. So the next bit was about listening sessions. People were coming, but you realize that people, the leaders were coming, not knowing what to say. The Black employees were coming in very, very angry and frustrated and wanting answers straight away. And it fell to me to continue to get the dialogue going, but I was always caught in the middle. The Black employees were looking to me to fix it. The senior leaders, predominantly white and maybe one or two Asian people, would come to me and say, what is the language that we're supposed to be using? So I'll try and help them. I can't say black, can't write black, and just Black employee, write with a capital P, and help people to feel that they're beginning to share that story. So the next bit of it was having to call back on my upbringing. And I don't know if any of you have heard of the Golden Stool from the Shanti Kingdom. It's still there today, but this woman is called Yasantuan, and we all hold her very dearly in our hearts because she fought a battle but she was very strategic about it. So I thought to myself, I'm going to pull all the layers back and go back to what I know, what I've been told, what my ancestry has taught me. So that meant she needed her allies, people who were close to the adversaries at the time. This was 1900s, 2 centuries ago. Adversaries at the time, as well as knowing that the allies and the in order to have a war, you need the adversaries as well. So still talking to the adversaries through the allies. So I channeled my own Yasan to her to bring everything that I've been taught to the table. So if you think about this, and I'm talking about the Black employees and the accomplices, as I call them. There's only 3% of Black people on senior boards. And then 85% of Black employees will not speak up if there's something to be said. Because they're afraid. They're afraid of what will happen to them. But I think there's some of us, we've got thick skin, we don't care, we just barge in and try to chat and say, listen, what can I do to help and bring people together? And I think that is my unique gift in harmonizing where there's tension. If you have a water cooler, normally it's just a group of people, the same group of people that stand by the water cooler. What I would say for the allies, grab somebody, bring them along to the water cooler, say, come with you, even if they sit at their desk all the time because they're not quite sure that they'll be invited. They might be invited to the dance, but will they be asked to dance? So invite them to the water cooler, say, oh, we're having lunch, come to the canteen with us. That's how the allies can start helping each other. The other bit is in the meeting. Have it, take it in turn, kind of meeting. It's not necessarily the person that is the most senior or the loudest in the room that needs to have their word all the time. So, for instance, the most junior person or the person that doesn't speak at all also gets to run the meeting. Of course, the boss will decide what's going to happen in the meeting, but the person running the meeting will decide who can speak and who can't speak. So the person has the voice there. The opinion, they start to feel that the opinion is important. And the third one is going out of your way to talk to people who do not look like you, people who do not go to the same place as you, people who do not go to church even, because when you go to my church, there are people there who do not look like you, and I get to speak to famous people. But find areas, or even the security guard, when you walk into the room, when you walk into the office, stop and speak to that security guard, because you might have come in with your Tesla, and he would have come in on his London Council chauffeured bus. Yeah. Everybody's come with their own chauffeur, but it's a different kind of chauffeurism, isn't it? So finding ways to find out about who that person is, and that's how allies and accomplices and adversaries can help move the dial a little bit.
So you talked about football for a second.
Yeah.
There's obviously a lot of controversy about the taking the knee.
Yes.
Still. And I wondered what you kind of thought about it, and whether is it an effective message anymore? Should we do more? What's the next step? I mean, how long are we going to taking the knee is great, and it sends a great message, but going to back it up, is it still effective? How long should it go on for? What's your thoughts behind it?
I think in the absence of anything else that should go on, but what can really make things change is having more senior, more managers who look more Black managers. Because in terms of talent, they have the Black talent. If you look at the football pitch, Arsenal stars is Zaki, he's still sold for England. Yeah, 20 years old, very good. But give him another 10, 15 years, he will not move any further. And we need to move that up, give them an equal chance to manage rather than just play. So that way,
as well. And do you find that there's a lot of companies that just want to almost do something to tick the box, and yeah, how do you sort of get around that?
I think diversity and inclusion has been left to HR people to do it. HR, some people call them human domain. And it's not their fault. They don't have the power. It's the senior leaders that have to take people, lead by example, and bring people along. They can't leave it to HR and say, go and fix it. Because I remember at the time that all of this was happening, I was asked to do some videos of the company, and get people to do videos of the company. And we got the script and everything together. And I used a word I was told to take out. That was one leader. He since left. But I said, we want to encourage the disenfranchised community. So we don't disenfranchise people here. And then he felt offended. So it never was me that's leading by example. So, but I don't think we should encourage.
I understand a bit about allyship and bringing people along, but what are your opinions on kind of quotas to getting a fairer representation within organisation, or more balanced representation? Is that the way to go? Do organisations need quotas?
Quotas can skew the balance in a negative way. People think that you've only got to where you've got to, like affirmative action. People think that you only got there because of your colour or your sex and stuff like that. I don't think so. I sometimes waver, but I always go back to merit and helping people to flourish. Because you can hire as many Black people into one organisation. If they don't feel welcome, if you don't have a culture of being able to welcome them, they will leave. So you fill your quota for the first year, the first 2 years, and we'll go back there. So it's how you manage the culture of inclusivity and belonging. That's what will help you. But quotas on their own are not just pieces of paper.